starting to rain again out. But that's okay. Got a couple cool indoor projects I want to work on. Cool to me anyways. To make a couple feeders for the chicks. I mentioned in the previous video, I'll get under the overhang here, not getting rained on. Mentioned in the previous video, the kids gotta crawl in there to grab the feeder. This way they can feed them right from the outside. They don't gotta crawl in there. I just Google imaged chicken feeders, and I took about a dozen different pictures I seen and kind of worked through it in my head how I want to make it my own. We'll find out if it works.
I roll the egg.
Oh, don't hit them too hard, they'll break.
Oh.
Yeah, we don't want them to break.
Oh. Out.
I have some 4-inch PVC. Kind of a common theme of everything I do is because of the scrap, and I had it laying around, so we're gonna use it. I'm gonna put an elbow on it. Well, let's just put it up here for now. And that's gonna be the bottom. When they connect it to a piece, I'll probably cut it off right here, about halfway. I'm gonna drill holes on both sides, and then the feed will go through the pipe into that long spot, and they'll be able to peck in there and get the feed. I marked this pipe out. I have a 2 1/8 inch hole saw. I think I have it because for drilling outdoors, it's a 2 1/8 inch hole. I don't have a 2 inch. Just what I have. I don't have a complete hole saw kit. So we're gonna do 2 1/8 inch holes. It looks like it's about right for the chicken to be able to stick its head in there. And I want it to be able to go in and not be able to push all the feed out. So I want it to be a pretty small hole so they can just get their head in there. Then I measured the holes 3 inches apart. So it'll leave about 3/4 of an inch in between each hole, just to have some plastic left so it's still pretty rigid. So I'll do 1, 2, 3, 4. And I offset them, like I said, just to add some strength to it. I don't want it to get too weak once we start putting all these holes in. Got all the holes drilled. Kind of a messy job, but I did 4 on each side. I'll hold the pan, okay? Good job. Sweep it in there. Good job. You go dump in the garbage now?
And
Good job. I bought 2 different elbows for the chicken feeder. I bought just a regular 90 and then I think what they call like a street 90. It's the long angle. So we're gonna run and grab some chick feed here quick and dump them both in there. See if the feed, if it matters how the feed flows out of there. I was gonna just make both of them right away, but I thought, why don't I make one, try it out for a couple weeks, see how it works with lengths and all that before I make another one. This is a actual 90, or a 290. This one I believe they call it like a street 90 or a long angle 90. Looks like the feed will just flow through there a little better. So I'm gonna dump both of them in, fill them up, and see if one works better than the other. Whoa! Making a mess with you. You gotta clean that up?
yeah.
Okay, so that worked pretty good. That street 90, it pretty much went to the end. I cut that piece on the end, 16 inches long, and it looks like it went pretty much all the way to the end. I filled it up to about there. I spilt enough feed already, I thought it'd stop, but you can see it. It went in real well and it made it all the way to the end. From here to here, I cut that pipe 16 inches long, put 4 holes in it, and it looks like that might be about right. Now I'm gonna try with this 90. It's a sharper 90, and just see if it'll save a little room. Is the nice part. It won't stick out this way as far in the chicken coop, because you'll see once I mount it in there, this could catch, you know, a bump or a stick. Okay, so I just filled it up with the sharper 90, and the feed, when I dump it in, just flies right through. So I filled it, it's filled up to about here. So I'm gonna pop that cap off and just pull the feed out and then see if it continues to flow. You want to stick your hand in there, Leah, and pull the feed out? Now it doesn't flow out as well, does it?
Yeah.
So it doesn't seem to be flowing. Once I pull it back, that I filled it, it doesn't flow right to the end. But I think with the chickens, they'll come into this first part here, and I think they'll peck here, and the feed will just slowly kind of work its way down. So I think there'll always be feed in this whole thing. I think I'm going to try it with the sharp one first. We'll just see with that. If it don't work, then I'll make another one with the Street 90. Should we clean this mess up?
Yeah.
Good job. Good job. Whoa. Storm just passed, you can see in the background there. I was just thinking we need to get the hole cut in the roof because I can't really glue it on until I get it in the roof. I drilled right to the edge of the board there, put that up there, traced around. Now we're gonna try this with a jigsaw. Back up, Leah. It's gonna be loud. I'm gonna try to finish that video tonight of us making that chicken feeder. I got everything cut. Now we just gotta install it. But first, before we can install it, me and Jack are gonna go move the cows. We're just coming down to move the cows and haven't been down here since we got all that rain, and it's like it kinda got a lot higher than I thought it did. Washed up pretty good. The culvert looks like it's almost plugged. I see it washed up on the fence over there too. That bank over there, that's what happens when you let the box elder trees grow up right next to it. Bank washes out. You can see what happens when you take the box elder trees and get cattle down along it. Get the grass growing, it looks perfect. See, the creek kind of changed its route. It used to go over that way and it kind of washed the bank out a little bit there. We fixed that up, took them trees out so the grass will go back. Now it's starting to go over this way quite a ways, making a nice little waterfall. We moved the mineral feeder to the other side of the paddock that we're moving the cows to. Came over here and the fence is down. I don't know if the deer ripped it down or where it crossed the creek. When it got real high, the flood, not really flood, but the creek raises so high, so fast here, might have knocked it down. So we're gonna get it figured out, put back up before we move the cows. Jack's going to check to see if it's laying in the creek.
There's a raccoon track and a turkey track. Was it fighting?
Were they fighting?
Yeah.
I don't think so. We got the fence all fixed across the creek. Looks like deer knocked it down again, and then must have been laying there for a while because it got into the creek. Creek washed it out a little bit. You can see this is the pasture we're gonna let them into. Nice lush grass. You can see there, that's where they've been. They got her 8 down. You can see a perfect line here. Right where they've been, or where they are, where they're going. Come on, cows!
Come on, cows!
So we have a tile line that runs in the, so it'd be the northeast corner of my property. You can hear it running back there. See it running in right there. And it drains this field north of me. It used to be a wetland back there, then they tiled it. Now it drains it all into here. So you can see back here when we got all that rain, it floods out of that field. See all the corn stalks and stuff that washed in there. And then I'm trying to catch it here with this pond. And then you can see right there, I started making, I don't know if you've ever looked up like key line design. I'm trying to do some of that up here. I shot some elevations with a friend up here last year and we must have had something wrong. I wanted to do it on a 1% grade and it's kind of running over now. So I need to reshoot it and get the right grade. But I just figured then the grass grows like crazy because they spread tons of nitrogen on that field, and when it rains it just runs out of the field right into my pasture, so I get tons of grass growth up here. What I'm trying to prevent is it all running right down to the creek right away. I want to catch it in this key line here and run it all the way on the north edge of my property, and then it'll water that whole hillside all the way down. So that's kind of a project, ongoing project I'll be doing here. And we got a little pond with the frogs down here, and you can see this key line I started building just with the bucket of the tractor. And it looks like it's good elevation from about here to about somewhere in here, but then it's almost like the elevation goes up because all the way through in here it's starting to run through that. So I need to cut it a little further, and then I got a bunch of apple trees along this hillside. So I want to continue this key line. You can see where I dug it, but it's not following it. It's almost like we accidentally went up 1% instead of down 1%. So I think it's going to go more over this way and around the hillside. And then there's a huge valley down there. I want to water that whole valley, so when all the water comes racing off of this cornfield, all that nitrogen, I'll catch it all before it goes into the creek. We can water this, about 20 acres we'll be able to water with it. Moving the chicken coop, and it went over some uneven ground, so we got a bunch of little ones that got out.
Got a little bit more left.
There's two more. There's one behind you and one right there. Got all the ends primed. We're gonna glue this short end together, and Jack will hold that for me inside, and then we'll insert that big end through the hole and put it together. Jack's gonna go inside and hold that piece for me right under that hole. You might want to just lay right on your back, or can you kneel down over there and hold it? It might take a little while because I got to put that glue on there too. Okay, right there. Good job. Okay, Leah, we gotta glue it.
See, putting the glue in.
Yep. Don't move yet. Got lots of glue to put on so it doesn't fall off.
Oh.
Here it comes.
Daddy, that stunk super bad.
It stunk in there?
Yeah.
Shouldn't. We just moved them to fresh grass.
No.
Shouldn't stink.
When I was over there holding it, it stunk.
Oh, the glue did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that glue, you don't want to smell that too much either. We're going to put this pipe strap right up top there. Screw it into that board. We're going to raise it up here a little bit so it's off the ground a little bit, so this bottom piece don't get tore off when we're moving it. I got the chicken feeder installed inside. Now Jack's going to see if we can fill it without dumping the feed all over. Keep trying. It's okay if you dump a little bit out. We can maybe make it a little shorter, huh? Keep dumping, Jack.
Daddy, watch this. They can stick your heads in there.
Yeah.
How do you guys know? Because they are.
I'm going to check on that feeder that we made for the little chicks and see how that's working out. So just as I expected, it's as they peck, the feed just runs to the end. And what I really like is that below it, there's absolutely zero waste. So that means they really have to stick their head in there and they're not getting any to spill on the ground, unlike this one where you get a whole bunch of waste every time.